approach, and that's thinking of it in terms of chapters. So what Harima is going to coach you through today is thinking of your topic, another topic for a new informational book, something you want to teach people, something like you collect, something you do, a sport you play, things you take care of, all those ideas that we had before. But now you're going to write a table of contents first. So you're going to choose your topic, write a table of contents. So think about the things you want to teach. And then you're going to choose one of those chapters and write that chapter. So that is the background information for our work today. And so today, Harima and I are going to teach you that information writers organize their information and ideas into categories, and those categories become separate chapters. So thinking about what are the different categories I want to teach on the topic today. Okay, so let's take a look at Harim and what she has to say on this today. So I need to share. All right.
So you've written a couple of short information books, and you're ready right now for the challenge of writing a longer information chapter book. That's right. An information chapter book is a book that is about a topic that has multiple chapters in it. But of course, before we can even think about how we're going to go about writing that, step one, think about the topic that you will devote this book to. I'm going to put this familiar chart up, and let's think back to that topic list that we generated earlier. Some of my topics you might remember are pop culture I fan over, Enrique Iglesias, places I've been to, New York City. I never did get to finishing that book that I thought I would write about raising a pet cat. And of course, I could write a book about, things that I'm an expert at. I could write about kid injuries because, I've been a teacher for so long that I have my own little first aid kit. I think I could write a book about. You see what I'm doing? I'm thinking back to things that I'm an expert on. So I'm going to pause for just a second while you come up with a topic.
I'll let you guys think of yours later.
Now hold this topic in your mind for a second, because this book that you're going to write, it's going to be a long book. That means it's going to have a ton of information in it. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to have to organize the information. Do you think you're good at organization? Well, I'm going to test you. So imagine this test is that you got all these clothes out of the dryer. They're all clean clothes. How would you organize them? I hope you said, well, I'm going to find socks, the left pair, and match it with the right pair and organize the socks together and put them in the socks drawer. I'm going to take all the t-shirts and organize them by putting them together in the t-shirt drawer. I'm going to take the sweaters and the cardigans and the jackets and hang them up and go put them where they go in the hanging side of my cupboard. In other words, you'd look at all the jumbled up mixture of clothes and you would make categories and put clothes where they should go. Socks where they go, t-shirts where they go, jackets where they go. It's the same kind of thing that you do if you came back from the grocery store with groceries such as these. What would you do if you had to organize these groceries? What categories might you divide them into? Did you just say I would divide them according to stuff that I could put in the fridge, stuff that I could put in the pantry, stuff that goes into the bathroom, and stuff that goes into the cleaning cabinet? That's one way of organizing it. That felt easy, huh? Well, if organization felt easy to you, that's good news because it has something to do with the book you're going to write today. No longer are you just going to touch a page and say anything that you want to put on that page. No, no way. Today I want to teach you that information writers organize their ideas and information into different categories. These categories become chapters and parts and paragraphs. And the first thing that information writers usually do to organize the information is they create a table of contents. Let me show you what I mean. So if I was writing a book about the seasons, this is what my table of contents might look like. Now, what might the table of contents look like if the topic of our book was school? Think about it. I'll be quiet for a second so you can count out across your fingers. What might the chapters look like if the topic of our book was school? Chapter 1 might be, chapter 2 might be. If, like me, you're thinking that we might divide a book about school according to chapter 1, kindergarten, chapter 2, grade 1, chapter 3, I mean, you get the gist. We could organize this book by grade, but we could take the very same topic and organize this according to a very different table of contents. We could organize this by subject, social studies, math, writing workshop. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we can have the same topic organized into very different ways. My point is this: whenever you write an information book about a topic, it helps to first take all that information that you have about that topic and create a table of contents. So if we were to do this together, if we had to practice this, I'm thinking if I were to write my book on kid injuries and I have all of this information about kid injuries, for example, where in the school do kids tend to get injured most, right? Usually it's the playground, sometimes during gym, sometimes in the classroom. There's different kinds of, kid injuries. Sometimes kids just have a minor scrape that needs a Band-Aid. Sometimes it's a little more serious. Once or twice, it's gotten more serious where there's been an actual broken bone. There might be rashes, there might be allergic reactions. There's so many different kinds of. Can you help me figure out a table of contents if I was to write a book on kid injuries? I don't know how this book could go, so I'm relying on you. Sometimes it helps to use the word maybe. Maybe chapter 1 is about. Maybe chapter 2 is about. See if you can use your hand as a graphic organizer. Go ahead and hit pause if you need a couple of seconds. Right, just take a look at the categories or chapters that I've heard kids like you suggest for a book on kid injuries. Now look at this other table of contents that kids have also suggested. Compare these two. Decide if one of these table of contents seems good to you. So this work that we've been doing together, now it's your turn to do it alone with your own topic, the one that you've picked for your chapter book. Think, what's all of the information that I know about this topic? And if I had to create categories, if I had to create a table of contents, what might that table of contents look like? What would chapter 1 be? What would chapter 2 be? What would chapter 3? So make your table of contents. That shouldn't take you very long. After you've made your table of contents, the remainder of your writing time today should be spent writing out one of the chapters in your table of contents. That's big work. Get ready, grab your pen, grab your papers, and let's get started creating your very own table of contents. Go for it.
Awesome. So I can see some people have already grabbed notebooks and are starting to jot and brainstorm that. So I'm just going to quickly go over the work plan, and then I'm going to get out of your way and let you start planning your new book by beginning with the table of contents. So here's your work plan for today. You need a blank booklet and something to write with. First, choose a topic and make a table of contents. And I don't know, Harim had a pretty cool template there. So if you want to lay out your own, she also just used some listing. So whatever style works for you. Then you're going to write that chapter. After you've completed that chapter, fifth graders, share your chapter and table of contents by taking a picture of each page and submitting it to Canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and publish that assignment right now. It's actually session 10 today. session 10. Oh, no, I apologize. It's session 9. I'm so sorry. Session
Miss
9
Wong?
today.
Miss
So it's
Wong?
session 9. Hold on, please. It's session 9 in Canvas under the writing course. Okay, so all right, fifth graders, go ahead, Cawthor.
How are we supposed to make a chapter book when we only have like 5 pages in one template?
Well, each page can be a chapter.
Oh,
And if you need to add pages in, you can.
okay.
Okay. All right, so fifth graders, go ahead and start. We're going to start here in the main session together. And I'm going to be kind of checking in with some students, asking them what their topic is and if they've come up with table of contents ideas yet. It'd be really handy if your videos are on so I can see